Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Players Experience Podcast. On today's episode, fresh off her win in Beijing with the women's gold medal Olympic hockey team, we welcoming Emma Maltais to talk about her experiences in Beijing, what the Olympic Village was like, what it was like to really compete, to get to the Olympic level, who has the best playlist in the room, and also to what this past weekend in Pittsburgh and Hamilton at the Heritage Game was all about and what that experience was like too. Before we bring Emma onto the show, we just want to give a shout out to our production team and our marketing team for all the work that they do each and every week on the episode, including the merch that is now available for sale. Also, too, guys, we have discount codes with a number of different businesses, so make sure you use the Players Experience discount code to get yourself some nice swag. And lastly, guys, if you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the follow, hit the bell, make sure that you're following us so you can see all the new and exciting episodes that we have for you to come out, and guests that you want to hear from. Let us know in the comments how we're doing, what you want to hear from. We're excited to hear from you. Now, without further ado, let's bring Emma on the show and talk about her career in the Olympics. Hey Emma, how's it going today?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. How have the last few weeks been for you?
Oh, they've been a whirlwind. I mean, I can't even explain how much my life kind of drastically changed in the last, honestly, the last half of a year. It's been crazy. So these past few weekends have been a lot of fun and really fun to celebrate with my friends and family back home. And again, the girls and doing some events with them has been really fun.
That's really cool. And yeah, we're going to talk about the whole Olympics. We're going to talk about this past weekend. But before we start, I'd like to start off every show with a segment called Rapid Fire. So I have 4 questions I'm going to ask you, and it's just first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
So favorite time of day?
Oh, nighttime.
Okay. What's the strangest thing in your fridge right now?
Oh, I'm probably like coconut water.
Okay. What is a TV show that you're currently watching?
Love is Blind.
Yo, okay. So we need to chat. We need to add a section about this into this because this season has been wild. So I never thought I'd be like the kind of guy to watch it, but here we are, So, and what would be another sport you would want to compete in outside of hockey?
Probably track. I did it in high school, so I'd say I don't know if I would compete, but it would be. I liked it.
Okay, cool. So, how did the passion for hockey really starting and form for you?
I would say for my brother. My brother's 4 years older than me, and I wanted to be just like him when I was little, and he would play. We would always go watch his games. My dad would build a little rink right beside my house. It was really small, but me and him would be out there for hours. I would always want to play with his friends and him, and I was probably so annoying, but that's for sure how it started.
No, hey, everyone's got to have that little family sibling rivalry, so it's got to start somewhere. You began playing for Ohio State University, where you not only had an outstanding scoring season, but you were also named to the All-WCHA first team for 3 straight years. What was it like to see all your hard work and dedication pay off in hockey so quickly?
Yeah, like I said, it happened so quickly. Like I can't even really fathom it yet. Like I think about it sometimes. I'm like, wow, what just happened like in my last half year, 8 months-ish. And it feels amazing. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I picked the best school for me. Ohio State really helped me with my development, not only as an athlete, like as a person, leader, and everything really just fell into place for me. The timing worked out where I had graduated just before this Olympic centralization, and I had a good camp going into that selection, and so it just feels so surreal, and I'm so lucky and grateful for the path that I took to get here.
No, and it's definitely been on the more accomplishment side of things. And talking about those accomplishments, in 2021, you won the gold at the World Championships, which following that, you were named to the 2022 Team Canada Olympic team. What's been that journey over, like you said, the past half year for you to fight for a spot with Team Canada, but also getting to compete with some of your friends on the biggest sports stage?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, when I was told, so centralization is when all 29 of us moved to Calgary, and it was really unique this year, starting that with Worlds. And I think winning that World Championship, that kind of set the foundation and set the mood for our team. And we got really, really close because of COVID. Like, we couldn't do much and except for be with each other. And I think that's what set us apart in the end. And competing for a spot, it's challenging because I was a bubble kid, I was a young kid, and I knew that all along. So I think just trying to make the most of every single day was what I tried to do. And I took the advice of the veterans on the team. And yeah, like I said, you don't really think of it as competing against them when you're in the moment.
Yeah. Now, we've all heard about the Olympic Village and how much of a good time it is. With this being your first Olympics and with COVID in the mix, and like you said, you were kind of just not, I don't want to say forced, but like you couldn't do much outside of like the norm with your team. What was the experience like for you at the Village during like off games and between games and things like that?
Yeah, like you said, I think we all like hear about the Village and we have these expectations, and it wasn't anything I expected. Like it was a little bit of a small village. I'm used to like Ohio State big campus, right? But it was like a little village with the rings. Like the rings and the flags were like the coolest part for me, just seeing them in person and like being there. But I think the coolest part about the Village is you just see all the athletes that work so hard to get to where we are, all in their country's clothing, just walking around. It almost feels like we are in our own little, we are like our own little village, like separated from the world. And it's just so, it's almost strange. And, but yeah, I think COVID just allowed me to prepare to take everything in. I think it was a little bit of a slower pace. Like, even though it sucked, my parents couldn't come, like that time difference in the day where I kind of had a lot of alone time or time with my teammates to reset and take it all in. And I think like not having to be in constant contact with everybody at home all the time, it helped me like be prepared for every moment, be prepared for every game. So like I said, it was disappointing they couldn't come, but at the end of the day, it's kind of been unique where I could like celebrate everything in waves. So now I'm in the wave of like celebrating with my family, and it's almost just so much excitement all over again.
Let's be honest. Every time we can get out of the house and be away from the parents for a little bit, it's even better when you get to play sports. We all know the truth behind it. Come on now. I say that because me playing sports with Special Olympics, like playing baseball and basketball, like I flew out to Vancouver for nationals one year, and like my parents couldn't come, and it was like, yo, I got a week away from the folks. Like, this is great. So now talking about like I work with a women's team at the university locally where I am. We all know the excitement level before games and the atmosphere in the locker room. Who has the best play track or playlist rather out of the entire team?
Ratty's always, so Jamie Lee Rattray is always on the aux. So she, definitely her.
Okay, and who has the best motivational speech out of the team?
That's actually hilarious. You you asked that. So we did something this year is very different. So through centralization, everyone got a chance to do the pregame speech. And like they slowly, like the rookies were last. And like people started whipping out these like hilarious like songs that they would write or like dances. And all of a sudden it became this like very light and funny activity for us. So Brianne Jenner picked, well, how many games did we play at the Olympics? 6 people. There are 7 games. She picked 6 people to do that she thought were the best through the year, and all very unique to do the pregame speech. So Micah Zandy Hart took the cake. She did it for the final. Like we did all the games leading up to the final, and then Micah went again because hers was so good. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a idea of what we do before a game.
That's really awesome. And it's good to build that team chemistry because it really showed on the ice. And I know like most Canadians were up until about 2:30 for the gold medal game, and just seeing the excitement level and everything, not only to play the U.S., but then just to be able to kind of etch your name in history again and walk away with a gold medal. And I have to ask you, because I've asked every Canadian athlete I've had on the show, where are you planning to keep your gold medal after you're done showcasing it?
We got this nice little box, so I'll have mine in there, but I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Someone else asked me that, and I was like thinking like, I don't know, in my parents' house, probably, like, you know, like probably. I I don't know. I don't think I'll be traveling around with it all the time. Right now it's fun, but yeah, I don't want to lose it. But yeah.
I once had Patrick Chan on the show, and he said he kept his medal in a Lululemon bag beside his dog toys. And I was like, all right, that's one interesting place to keep your gold medal.
That's funny.
So let's take a little bit of a break for hockey for a second. Talking about the TV show that you're currently watching, Love is Blind, where are you in the season? What's your thoughts on the season? And
I just finished. So it was so good this season. We started watching it at the Olympics, me and my roommates, and it was so, I don't know, it was such a good season. So many twists and turns, don't you think?
It was insane. I thought at the reunion, so spoiler alert for anyone that's watching, we're going to talk about some stuff. But I thought at the reunion, Shake was the most like random guy out there. And I was like, yo, can the producers like kick this guy off the show? Like he's done, like get him out.
And everyone was like, boo, every time he spoke. I'm like, that is hilarious. Everyone's just like, shut up.
Yeah, and then when he's like, shut up, Shane, it's like, dude, you, like, who are you to talk? But I was happy that Jarrett and Diana were, like, still together. I think they were, like, the Lauren and Cameron of this year, for sure.
I agree. They were really cute.
But, yeah, again, my boss at work started watching it, and, like, they would talk about it, so I was like, all right, might as well see what all the hype and the razz is about, and I was like, here we are, season 2, and I was like, why am I still watching the show? But like, it's interesting, you know.
It's awesome. It's just so entertaining.
Yeah, it's definitely with like the whole concept plus like the reactions that they got this year, especially when I think it was Shane that thought Natalie was Shayna, and that whole like back and forth. I was like, dude, how are you screwing this up?
I know. It's like, how does this not scripted? It has to be somewhat, but I don't know. I guess not.
They put words in like the wall that we can't see. Talk about this. So talking about hockey, this past weekend has been a whirlwind for you. You guys got to play in Pittsburgh. You got to go to the Penguins game. You got to meet fellow Canadian Sidney Crosby. And then on Sunday, you were at the Leafs Sabres Heritage game. What was it like to go to Pittsburgh, meet Crosby, meet another Canadian gold medalist, and really just share your Olympic story and your journey with someone that's went through the same process?
Yeah, I think like the coolest part about meeting someone like that is you watch him growing up, you watch him your whole life. And he's always been my favorite player. Like just I don't know, it's Sidney Crosby, right? So you see him and you almost like feel like you know him because you're like, I feel like I've seen you so many times on TV, but no. So we chatted a lot. He was super nice, showed us around, and Chris Letang was there too, so that was super cool. And I mean, they're just like nice guys, and it's cool to see their excitement for us, and like have that kind of connection right off the bat. So yeah, meeting them was a really cool highlight, and the whole weekend in general, just how people are so excited for us and what we did for Canada. And I don't think I realized how insane it was gonna be. So I think I'm just getting used to it right now.
I know it's still, you got to soak it all in while you can. You got to enjoy the moments because it's definitely an experience in itself. Just like the games are one thing, but then the post games are a whole other animal and a whole other beast. And you got to meet one of my favorite bands, the Arkells and Max. What is it like for you to meet Max and like how hyped his energy is? I've been fortunate enough to meet him a couple times, and he's always like so excited. But I'm sure he was even more excited when he was chatting with you guys.
Yeah, so actually at Worlds, we did like a Zoom call with him, and he was like singing songs for us because we were in quarantine. And they did a bunch of like activities for us. That was one of them. So that was awesome. And he knows Spoons well, like Natalie Spooner. So he's so like chill around us, like just such a cool guy. Like I said, like has such good energy. He like our goal song the whole year was Years in the Making. So we had that connection with him. So it's just cool to see him around and just like chilling with us. Like it's nothing. I'm like, you are so cool.
That's awesome. And he's so down to earth. Like he's like the kind of guy that'll take time to meet anyone too.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Now, who has been one of your biggest motivators throughout your entire hockey career?
Yeah, I think my parents, like I know that's so cliche to say, but I think like just wanting to make them proud, because they put so much into it, right? And I think for them, this is just as big for them as it is for me. And I can feel that sharing with them that they know like they put just as much work into this as I did. And that's a big motivator for me, just wanting to show them that it was worth it.
No, and that's really cool because, a lot of people have their parents as their biggest motivators. I know I do as well. And because like they drive you to all the like 6 a.m. practices and to the rinks and all that when you're younger too, right? So
exactly.
So what's it been like for you to really see the growth and development of women in sport and in hockey over the last like number of years growing up and obviously playing it yourself in Ohio State, but then kind of seeing the pride and the acknowledgments that that the community is starting to do now with women's sport at the Olympic level and really getting behind women in sport and in hockey?
It's empowering. I really think it's going to keep going. I hope so. I mean, when you think about it, we were the most watched event at the Olympics, and that game was the most watched, and people want to watch. So I don't see why people wouldn't want to watch in the 3 years leading up to the Olympics too. So I think just being a part of that and seeing how much effort everyone puts in, not only on our teams, but the girls in the PWHPA, like grinding and spreading the word and going different places. Like that's a lot to do when you're working another job or have other commitments. So I think just being a part of that and seeing that growth and having goals myself to be a part of it moving forward, it's really cool. And I didn't realize how much of a responsibility that was when you get to the next level. And I mean, it's not a secret. Like the growth it's here and it's coming. So
no, and that's great to see. Now, I like to end off every show rather with a segment I call the Words of Wisdom. So what words of wisdom would you want to share with the next generation of young girls playing hockey that want to make a name for themselves and ultimately do what you're doing and reach the Olympics?
Yeah, I think just being okay with asking questions and don't take yourself too seriously. I think For me, if I took myself too seriously from the beginning, I wouldn't be here. That's really what made hockey fun for me. Just allowing myself to be myself around my teammates, have fun at the rink. Like, yes, work your tail off, but you can work hard and be successful while still having fun. So I think just loving it, and that's going to really propel you forward and motivate you. So
awesome. Well, I wish you nothing but the best. And again, this is just the first Olympics. Things coming at least threes. So I'm excited to hopefully see you at some more Olympic Games down the road. And thank you again for taking the time to be on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, take care.